everybody. My name is Gina Paulus, and I'm very excited today to welcome you to the Homebodies Fitness Show. I have Debbie here with me today. Hi, Debbie. Debbie is going to perform a workout that you can do while you're healing from a wrist injury, and also later on we will discuss how to tackle permanent weight loss. So Debbie, tell us a little bit about what's going on with your wrist.
Well, I fell down, broke my wrist, and had it set. And what's happening now with the screws and the plates are backing out. So I need more surgery again, so that's why I wear this.
I see. So as far as working out, do you have specific limitations with your wrist?
Yeah, I'm supposed to, not lift heavy weights or anything with it, and, just be cautious.
Use caution?
Yeah, I use caution.
Okay, so what I have planned for you today is a workout that you'll still be able to work out the rest of your body even though your wrist won't be affected.
Okay.
So we're not really going to strengthen the wrist, we're going to just more avoid using it.
Okay.
So it depends on what phase of injury you're in. If you're in a phase where you want to build up the strength again, then certainly you can do some easy wrist training exercises, but right now it sounds like you're a little bit more where you're needing to just be very careful.
Yes.
Maybe once you have that second surgery, it would be time to do a little bit more aggressive training with your wrist, right?
Yes.
So for now, we're going to try to do a workout that uses your entire body, but doesn't use this left wrist that has that brace on it there. So the first one we're going to do is body weight squats. Now, part of the reason why we'd use body weight squats is so that you don't have to hold any weights. So the way it works is if you can do squats holding weights, you don't have to do as many to get a good training effect. However, if you can't hold the weights, then you would want to do higher reps, more repetitions in order to get the legs and the glutes working. So for body weight squats, you want to hold the arms in front and then squat down as deep as you can and come up straight, just like this. Why don't you try that? That's right. Good. Now how does that feel?
Good.
Why don't you do a few more? So we're gonna do about 15 of them. Yeah, you're fine. Good. You don't have to go quite so low. How about that? Perfect. So she's used to working out in the pool. So balance on land is a little bit harder than in the pool, so we have to make sure that she adjusts that based on what she's used to. That looks wonderful. Make sure you're breathing. Arms look perfect. Nice work. All right, and you can do 2 more of those, Debbie, and then step back. Very nice. So how did that feel on your legs?
Very good.
Yeah? Could you feel right here?
Yeah.
All right. So the reason we want to do the legs when we do the strength training is the legs are the largest muscle group in the body. So when you work your legs, you're burning the most calories. Sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to burn as many calories as possible. All right, so next we're going to do row with a resistance band. So for this one, I actually need to serve as the place that the resistance band is going to wrap around. I normally have people wrap this around a post on the stairs, something like a railing or whatever. We don't have any railings, so we're gonna have to make do. So I'm going to wrap it around me, and I'd like you to put your hand through the loop. Yep, perfect. And then this one as well. Okay, all the way through. So I want you to make it like it's a bracelet, like stick your hand through it. Perfect. All right, awesome. So now like that, I need you to back up a tiny bit. I need you to pull both together. Good. And again. Nice. And again. Good. Let's do another 8 of those. Is it better for you to just hold it? Is that, you think it's easier?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. As long as there's no problem with the hands, you can definitely hold. Good. Yep. And I'm watching to make sure she's using both of her arms evenly. You can do 2 more, Debbie. Good job. Nice. How was that?
Very good.
So that one is going to work your back behind here, and it's going to work your biceps in the front of the arm too. So now at this point we've done 1 lower body workout and 1 upper body, and we're going to move on to another very important fitness component, which is balancing. So balancing is one of the most common reasons why people get injured when they work out. They either lose their balance and fall completely, or they lose their balance just a little bit, but they can tweak their knees or their ankles and hurt themselves. So it's very important that your fitness program incorporates balance. So we're going to try this balance disc. So what we're going to do today is step on it and then try to keep the round circle off of the floor. So if you tip to the side as I just did, you'll see that it falls to the side. It might go to the other side, but you want to just keep trying to keep this whole circle elevated the whole time. And you do about 30 seconds, and then you take a break before you continue to try another set. So Debbie, I'm going to be right next to you so that you feel like if you need to grab something, you can grab my shoulder. It's good to do this next to a wall or a railing of some kind if you're doing it at home. So why don't you start by stepping one foot on the edge.
Balance is always one of my issues.
There you go. And now, yep, perfect. Now it is easier for most people to do it with the knees bent, but doing it with the legs straight works the muscles in a little bit of a different way. It's a little bit more hip when you have the legs straight. So this is the first time she's done this, I think, which is super good. Yeah. But you can see she's really working to stay on that disc. Nice. And you'll see her arms are adjusting a little bit in order to help her balance, which is perfectly fine. Why don't you go ahead and step off one foot at a time? Nice. Good. So that works your abs, which help to keep you balanced, and it also works your ankles, your calves, your hips, so a lot. And you had a little bit of trouble with your ankle too?
Yes, I broke my ankle about 7 years ago, and I have to have surgery on that as well.
Yikes.
To have the screws and plates taken out of that as well.
Okay, so I mean,
it gives out an awful lot.
Yeah, and do you find that the pool workout is nice for it?
The pool workout is fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the pool. I do it 5 days a week.
Okay.
And enjoy.
So the only thing about pool is sometimes you can't always use it, right?
Exactly.
Like if it's a snowstorm or if you have another problem going on.
Yeah.
So it's probably good for you to have something available at home to do as a backup.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, but the pool really helps you out most of the time.
Yeah, 95%, 99%.
Good. All right, so we are going to do a shoulder press next. So what we're going to do with this one is we're just going to stick to the uninjured side of her. So I'm going to have her step on the band near the handle, and then she's going to hold this and push it up and down. Okay, so go ahead and try that. So you can, the right hand, you want to step on it right near the band. Just step right on that so it stays secured, and go ahead, push, good, and down, nice. Let's do 8 of those, Debbie. Good. Try to keep your head up, perfect. So when you move your neck around, it makes it easier to do the shoulder press, but you're not using the correct muscles. So we want to try to keep the head in the straight position. One more is good. Perfect. All right, and now for this arm, I'd like you to just show them air presses. So you're just doing the motion without the handle. Okay. So go ahead and try that. So this is still keeping that range of motion going in that shoulder, but we're not adding extra pressure to her wrist right now. And it's definitely worth doing to do this motion, because what you'll find is if you don't do it, your shoulder's gonna stiffen up, and then you'll have a whole another problem in your hands that you don't need, right?
Absolutely.
So you wanna do as much as you can, even if you have a limitation there. So we're going to start working some stomach next. We'll do crunches for the abs. All right, so you're on your back, your hands are interlaced behind your neck, and you want to lift up and back down. All right, you can go ahead and give those a try. Very good. Now, Debbie, just make sure that your chin and your chest stay far away from each other.
That's right.
Just like last time we worked out, I remember the same thing.
I did the same thing.
Yep. That's great. It helps if you think of keeping your eyes on the ceiling, because that way your chin will naturally be in the right spot. If you're doing these right, after a few, you'll start feeling them right in your stomach.
Yes.
Is that happening yet?
Yes.
Perfect. Did you already work out this morning?
Yes.
Okay. So this what, you're like your 3rd session of the day?
Yes.
Yeah, Debbie likes to work out. Okay, so we're doing next a glute extension. We're gonna have the feet about 1 foot apart, and you wanna lift and back down. Go ahead and try that one. Good. Now your hands can just be right by your hips. They don't need to be
That's
behind
right.
your neck like the crunches.
Um,
So you just want to push through your feet and lift your hips up. Perfect. Exactly. Your head stays down. That's right. Good job.
and how many of these do you
We're
want?
going to do 15 of those. So this one tones the lower back, the obliques, and your hamstrings. So this one is getting a lot of those large muscles toward the back and sides of the body, which is again very good for the metabolism. Now, one thing that tends to happen when people have an injury is they tend to let everything else slide while they heal. Well, Debbie knows that that is not a good idea because if you did that every time something was wrong, you would never work out at all. Right?
Absolutely, I would not. And now that, oh, excuse me. Now that
Yeah.
I'm on the roll, I'm not going to lose it.
Right. So it's tempting because everyone gets a little discouraged when they get hurt because part of you just wants to have a pity party and do nothing, right?
Not for me, no.
You don't feel that way? Well, most people feel like, well, I have an excuse to just sit on the couch and like not do anything and eat potato chips all day.
No.
But really, you'll just feel worse if you do that.
Yeah, I like to stay on track. It's
Right,
important.
right. That's awesome. I love that about you. All right, so we're going to move next to the reverse crunch. Now, the reverse crunch works the elusive lower abs, so it can be really hard to get the lower portion of the stomach. So what we're going to try to do here is just tighten the lower part of the stomach and relax. Now, it might not look like I'm doing a real lot right here, but my lower abs are working very hard to try to lift my hips off the ground. So it's more of something that you'll feel inside of your body, but it doesn't really look like you're moving a lot. So I will be watching Debbie to see if I can see that lower portion of her abs tightening up. So the legs are going to be knees bent, feet in the air. Okay, bend your legs. Are you okay?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay, so you can put your hands by your hips.
My hips.
Now I want you to tighten here, keeping your head on the floor.
Oh, that's hard.
It's hard to, well, this is actually really good that we're doing this because it's hard to just hold them like that, right?
Yes.
You know what, I'm gonna make a slight adjustment. I want you to hold your legs like that just for 10 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna let go of your feet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you can rest. Perfect. So that was a really good example of sometimes you need to start with something slightly easier. Okay?
Yep.
Especially because the last time me and Debbie did this one, we did it on a couch, which the couch is softer, it's easier to do, right?
Yes, much easier.
Yeah, so that's a good example of how the surface you're on can be very important. So if you do it on a harder surface, it's harder to do. If you do it on a soft surface, it's easier. So sometimes if you change where you're doing it, you have to remember that and think of that, when you're doing the exercise. So we are going to do the calf raise for the final strength training exercise. So we can do those at the same time. So I'm gonna have you stand right next to me, Debbie. And all I want you to do is rise up on the ball of your foot and then sink. Good. Yep, nice and slow. Now what the calf raise is doing, it's very interesting because it's obviously working balance and working your calves, but the other thing it's doing for you is it's pumping blood throughout your body. The calves are like little mini pumps in your body and they pump the blood all up throughout. Now what happens when your blood is pumped throughout your body? It helps it heal, okay? So it's really good to do if you have an injury because the blood is going to pump up all the way to your arms and it's going to help the healing process that's happening in those areas. So you can do another 5. Think of squeezing your butt while you do the calf raise. That's going to help you balance better. Nice. Good. And last one. Nice. Okay. So those are harder if you do them like we just did without holding anything. It's easier if you hold on to a railing. So I'd encourage you to do the free raises if you can, but if you truly need to hold on to something, certainly you should do that for safety reasons. Okay, so now we're going to do a chest stretch. So for the chest stretch, Debbie, I need you to stand right here, and I will be helping you out with that. So I'd like you to reach your arms to the sides. Now I'm gonna take her elbow area and just pull straight back. So I'm helping her stretch her chest. Now if you're at home, you can do this in a door frame. So envision that you're walking up to a door and you put your arms to the side just like this, and the door is doing what I'm doing for her, which is pulling those arms back. And you want to just feel a gentle stretch. You don't want anything sharp, shooting pain, or true discomfort, just a little bit of that stretching feeling. Now, what happens when you have an injury is your muscles tense up because they're guarding against that pain that you're experiencing. So it's very important to stretch a lot if you've had some sort of problem. so that you can kind of get the rest of your body working better again. So now we're going to do a tricep stretch. So same thing, Debbie, you can stand right here. I'd like you to reach one arm up and then bend it behind your head. So I'm gonna help her stretch this. Now once again, you can do this with a door if you just put your elbow against the door frame. And that way you don't have to hold, because it can be kind of difficult to hold your own arm up. If you're used to it, you probably could do it. It's just a little bit awkward, especially for someone that's got a brace on like she does. You can switch to the other side now. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to pull her elbow back, almost behind her head. Yes.
Now, why would my elbow tend to go towards the front? Is that just something natural?
Well, it has to do with if the muscles in the lats and the
Okay.
chest are tight, which is very common. But like I said before, when you've been in pain, your muscles tend to tighten up, and they are going to be needing something like this.
Okay.
So just to give you an idea, before I started stretching a lot, this is what my arm was like, because that's normal. If you actually get really good, then you can get it back.
Good.
But it takes time. You can't do it all in one day.
Okay.
So you want to just each day pull another quarter of an inch until you can get it back here. And I mean, most people don't truly need it to go that far, but the thing is, if you're too tight and you're only like this, you're gonna find that you'll struggle to do daily things you might need to do over time. And so it's better for you if you can get that range of motion.
Okay, so should I do it a couple times a day, and then for how long?
Well, you'd want, the stretches, you want to do the stretches for 30 seconds for 3 sets. So, you know, left arm, right arm is 1 set, left arm, right arm 2, left arm, right arm 3, and then the ideal, best way would be to repeat that 3 times.
Okay.
So say every breakfast, lunch, dinner afterwards,
Okay.
you do that 3 times, and that will help it the
And it only
fastest.
takes a few minutes to do it while you're cooking or
Right,
something.
absolutely. And if that's the fast track, if you want to get better really fast, if you have a little more time and aren't in a huge rush, just do it whenever you can. I mean, it's not like an emergency,
Right.
but the more you do it, the faster it will happen for you.
Okay, good, thank you.
So now we're going to do a back opener with the roller. So I'll show you how this works. You can step right there. So we're going to lie right down on this roller, and then you're just going to let your body kind of go back and forth on it. And what it's doing is it's like a little mini massage for your back. So just like that. You can go ahead and try that. So just start by sitting. Yep. And then you want to put that against your shoulder blades. Good. And now using your legs back and forth, your hands can go optional, whichever is most comfortable for them is fine. Have you ever done this?
No,
Okay. First time.
I've done a roller on my legs,
On
but
her
never
legs.
never my back.
So some people think it feels good, other people think it hurts. Kind of in a good way, kind of not.
Isn't it supposed to break up your muscle or the tension or
Yes,
whatever?
it's supposed to release the fascia that covers your muscles. That is the same type of thing that happens when you go to get a massage or you have someone give you one. It's just a little bit easier because you don't need someone else to help you with it. So the roller is a great way to alleviate just typical soreness that develops from day to day or from a workout. So this item you can purchase in most retail stores. You can order it online. I think they're around $30, but it's pretty.
They're worth having.
Compared to having to go get a massage, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, all right, so now we're going to work on stretching up the hips. So I'm going to have her step back and then try to bend her legs a little bit. Now again, this one can be a little tough with balance, so I'm going to make sure she's all right by helping her with her balance, but you go ahead and step forward, and then you want to bend both legs a little bit. Yep, and just try to find a spot you can hold. Perfect. And this is another one that you could definitely do in the pool, which again will make the balance less. Okay, try your other leg. So this one you only need to hold it for about 10 seconds because it's an active stretch, not a passive one, meaning that your body is actually doing something while you're in the stretch. So those usually can be shorter, you still get the good benefit from them. So you want to feel this in the hips, a little bit in the legs.
Definitely.
Perfect. All right, you can come out. Nice. All right, so we just did your strength training from head to toe, and we stretched you out.
You did.
How'd that feel?
Very good.
Yeah?
Very good. I feel good.
Awesome.
Very good.
All right, well, it's time for us to go over the Twitter question that came in this month. Here's the question. I have a lot of weight to lose, but I don't want to go on a diet only to gain it all back again. Do you have any advice?
Yes.
So that's the question. Now, as a trainer, my thought is, well, I would usually recommend that somebody does something where you try to think of it as a new lifestyle and not that you're on a diet. So you can't really think, well, I'm just gonna do this for now and then I'm going to go back to what I was doing before. Because if you go back to what you're doing before, guess what? You're going to look like you looked before. So that's what I would tend to say to somebody as a trainer, is to find things that you can change, that you can stick with. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be most of the time. And then you can change one by one by one until you've really changed almost everything about your life. Now that's what I think is the best recipe for success for the average person. There's certainly other ways to accomplish this goal, but Debbie, as somebody that has lost a fair amount of weight, what do you think about this question?
I agree with you on, putting things that it's a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Because you can't go back to what you were doing before, because you will put the weight on. But I also exercise faithfully 5 days a week.
Okay.
Sometimes 6 days a week,
Okay.
doing pool aerobics.
Okay.
And then a strength training class when my wrist isn't bad.
All right, so for you, do you think the exercise is even more important than the dietary changes, or?
I think it's a combination of both. You
Okay.
have to have the two of them to make it a success.
Okay. So do you mind sharing a little bit about your personal story
Well,
with your changes that you've made for your life?
yeah, I've lost 165 pounds
That's amazing.
from 3 years ago. And,
I mean, you're half of who you were, right?
Slightly.
Just about, yeah.
Slightly. And I feel good, and it was with no pills, it was with
Wow.
no operation. I did it on my own,
Yeah.
watching what I eat and exercising, and when you exercise, it builds up your serotonin levels, so you feel really good about yourself. And
Okay,
it's a less chance to feel bad.
got it. So it's almost like you use exercise to help yourself feel better so that you can follow the diet.
Exactly.
Okay, now did you exercise before?
No,
So this is like a complete,
it's a whole new lifestyle for me,
Wow.
and I'm loving it.
did anybody inspire you to do it?
I was told I was going to be fat all the time, and I finally said, no, I'm not.
So you basically felt like you were gonna prove them wrong?
You got it.
Okay, that works. Whatever it takes to get that motivation so you turn things around.
Definitely.
Do you have any tips for people that might be where you were back, weighing so many more pounds? And
Well, you've got to have faith in yourself and know that you can do it. I look in the mirror every day and say, I'm worth it.
Okay.
I'm going to do it. And today is a new day. And if I should happen to fail one day, then I just go back on track again the next day and follow through.
I see.
It's really important to exercise.
Okay.
I can't stress that enough.
Now, did you follow a plan, or did you sort of make
No,
up your
I
own?
made up my own. I make my meat portions the size of my palm.
Uh-huh.
And then I have 2 to 3 vegetables with my meal.
Okay.
And no sweets.
Okay.
And no sweets. So.
I see. So did you just do some research, or did you just
I
like
was
use?
reading some articles on the internet,
see.
and the other programs they have out there where you eat your own food and things. That just doesn't work, because in reality we eat what's in our refrigerator.
That's really smart.
So
Right.
I had to do it the right way, and that's what I'm doing.
Now, did you, during this time, were you responsible for feeding others?
Yes, I was. I was responsible for feeding my family,
Okay.
and
That's a big question I get from people, because they say, well, I could just do it if it was just me, but my kids want this, my husband wants that, whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, now you have to make 2 separate meals. Is that what you had to do?
basically no. I made the same meals. I just started eating off of a smaller plate
Okay.
instead of the large plate.
Yep.
And that was my portion, so that I knew that helped me with portion control.
Okay, that's
and
great.
plus I drink a lot of water.
Yes. Yeah, so it sounds like you tried to think this is real life. You didn't do something that was like so off from your normal routine.
No,
You
I
made it
cooked the same things for my family as
Got
I
it.
did myself.
Got it.
And I mean, that's the only way in reality,
Right.
I think.
So what did you used to do during the time that now you go to the gym?
I used to sit on my chair, play the computer, watch TV, twiddle my thumbs.
Okay.
and wonder what I was going to do for the day. But now going to the gym,
Yeah.
it gives me a high energy so that when I get done with the pool, I'm off and ready to go.
That's great. So if you had one thing that you could say to people out there that might feel like, oh, she can do it, but I'm not strong enough.
No, you can do it. Anybody can do it if you put your mind to it. I
Yeah.
know I did, and it's easy. You know, you just say one day at a time.
Okay.
One day at a time. And don't look at the amount of weight you want to lose. Only look at what you're going to lose for the week and let it be that. And if you don't lose, that's okay. There's always next week.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
It's just a very simple, low pressure approach.
And it works for me.
Yeah.
So
And how long did it take you to lose that
3
amount?
years, 3 years.
And was it pretty steady, or did you lose faster at the beginning?
I lost faster in the beginning,
Okay.
and it has slowed down over this past year, but that's okay.
Right.
I'm not going to give up.
Yeah.
Because my goal is to lose another 30, and then I'll be where I want to be.
And I heard that you started a New Year's challenge.
Yes, I did with my male friend. He's,
Yes.
we're challenging each other on who's going to lose the most weight. He did better than I did this week. He lost 2 pounds. I
Don't you
lost
think
1.
it's easier for men, though?
Yes, I do, because they have so much more to lose than what.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, our hormones are different.
Right. So, yeah, that's always a fun thing, too. Get a buddy. I mean, a lot of people do better when they're doing it with somebody else.
Definitely.
Also, like you're saying that you get up and go to the gym, I'm sure you've made plenty of friends at the gym.
Yes, I have.
But sometimes it's more that you have to say, well, how about my friend come to the gym with me and you guys both go? Now that can work
It can.
if you have a friend that's dedicated.
It's dedicated.
But it can
as
also
you.
backfire.
Yes.
So-
Because then it sets you up. Well, if she's not going, I'm not going to go.
Exactly.
So I find to go by myself and be in good spirits and say this will be good.
Yep.
And I made a
that's-
lot of friends.
Exactly. But I think that what she's saying of the social support is really key. And I think that's one of the things that helps people when they do something like hire a personal trainer is maybe you don't have someone in your life that you feel like you can count on to meet you there, but you know your trainer's coming, and
that's the world of good.
that can really help. Even if you know the trainer's only coming once a week, it's going to be in the back of your mind, like my trainer's coming, I need to do this.
Exactly.
It's really tough to do it on your own. Like I'm part of a gymnastics team, and when I go to practice with them, I find that I do so much better than if I try to practice by myself. It's only natural, right?
Yeah,
So it's
definitely.
good to have a nice group of people around you that can support you.
Well, and they are. I mean, with the pool I go to, they're very supportive and very,
Right.
you know, they just make you feel good about yourself.
Right. So what's really great, I think, about fitness is what starts out as something that's sort of like a drudgery, like, oh, I have to go work out, oh, that's awful. It ends up being something you look forward to.
Yeah, it's my natural high. I
Right,
like to
and
go.
that's really what I want. Like a lot of people as trainers, they say, oh, these trainers, they don't understand, I don't like working out. But you feel so good. That's what the trainer wants for you. We want you to feel good, not torture you with all the exercise, but that feeling you get at the end when it's fun and you're proud of yourself. right?
Definitely. Pat
So-
myself on the back.
Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.